I have been mesmerized by this book, Nourishing Traditions. It's like an encyclopedia. But let me give you a little background. First of all, it's based on the findings of a dentist, Dr. Weston A. Price. And he, in the 1930s, traveled the world. Of course, as a dentist, he was wanting to see what it was like in these other countries. And he went to a lot of what we consider third world countries. And what he found were people that, yes, were very, very poor, very isolated, but they were healthy. They were mentally strong, strong families. And of course, as a dentist, he was looking at their teeth. They had strong bone structures, no cavities, and it was amazing. And yet, when he went back home, he wasn't seeing that. And then over the years, he would often go back and visit these villages. And now maybe they weren't quite as remote. Modernization had started trickling in, and they'd started adapting to the Western ways. And what he began to find were they were now also having the Western problems, cavities, poor dental structure, their jaws. He was seeing challenges in the family, things that don't even seem connected to food. And he realized the source of it was the way that we had taken food from its basic beginnings. And again, how factories were involved and they were stripping and they were taking the nutrients out of fruits and vegetables, grains, meats, and all through the book. She documents study after study that shows that as we have done these things, our health has started to deteriorate. And even though we have such modern technologies and facilities and studies, and all this money is spent on our health, called centenarians. And my own father turned 100 on New Year's. My mom is 99 and a half. Now, my dad is sharp as a tack. But one study that I was reading was talking about these people were born at a time where there weren't all the processed foods. Things were slower. They didn't have the challenges, the toxins in the air, in the water, in our food. Now, talking about traditional cooking and living isn't wanting us to go back to being pioneers, not at all, but it is about diving into the ways that food was meant to be prepared. It actually is cheaper, will save you money. Many people actually lose weight, they get healthier because it's just the way food was meant. So let me just dive into just a few of the things when we talk about traditional cooking. One of them is soaking. We know that we soak dry beans, but soaking rice. Most people open a bag of rice, boil it, and eat it. But most of your grains and seeds have anti nutrients. They have inhibitors that really God put in place for those seeds to be protected until it was time for them to be soaked and planted so they could sprout. And so we have skipped that step. That's why we struggle with so many issues with grains because we're not preparing them at all. We're putting them in a pot, boiling them, and eating them. And so it's harder for our bodies to digest those things. So we need to do more um, soaking. We need to do more sprouting things. I've got some sprouts in my refrigerator, the little curly things. We've all seen sprouts on salads. But again, that helps to break it down. Uh, Doing fermenting. Okay. I've been talking about, I've gotten back into sourdough baking. That is soaking the grains, leaving them overnight, and then the next day preparing it and kneading and making it. No, it is not quick like using a package of yeast, but this was a natural way of breaking down those grains. Many people that have gluten sensitivities, when they eat true sourdough, they don't have the issues. So that's another thing. Fermenting drinks. We're familiar with kombucha. It's gotten very popular. But again, this is something that you can do at home and it costs you pennies. Naturally carbonated drinks, that are flavored with berries. So these are just practical things that we can incorporate into our lives. And most of the time, it helps us get healthier because so many of the things that we've been eating have really been working against us. Take dairy, for an example. Next to gluten, that is the other biggie that so many people have trouble with. But again, what they've done to milk by pasteurizing and homogenizing, and they have stripped all of the good benefits, and our body just is not able to break it down. And so the more we go back to, again, the basics, then we start to be able to eat these foods without all of the negative side effects that comes today. So as I go through this journey, we'll be talking about these different things, ways that you can make your own yogurt that is so much healthier. And again, making those drinks, baking the bread. And you don't have to do all of those. Some of you are probably going, that sounds great, but I don't have time. But there are ways that you can still do this. So anyway, follow me on this journey. It is amazing. It's a way to start reversing some of the disease and the sickness. So until next time, this is Coach Maggie